Alright, so it's the Goo Dude here, and I have decided I would like to change out the RAM on one of my little bit of older laptops that it's not going to be my main go-to laptop for just my general stuff that I would be doing. This is about a year or two older. It's a Lenovo laptop, so this process won't be the same for every single laptop out there. But some laptops can't even have their RAM changed out. Some laptops do have the RAM soldered to the motherboard. A couple things that you can do to find out if you would be able to change the RAM is you can go on to google.com, the manufacturer's website, or if you still have your documentation paperwork, you can look into that. I believe there's even tools that will just quickly analyze your system and tell you if the RAM can be upgraded or not. But this is a Lenovo IdeaPad, and again, not all laptops are going to be the same, but this can be upgraded. I have already verified that, hence the reason I went ahead and made this purchase. This stick cost me about $50. This laptop itself came with 8 gigabytes of RAM, which has been sufficient, but I want to start doing things such as some gaming and some video editing. So I decided to go up in RAM size, and I just decided 16 gigabytes is what I want to choose. Everybody's needs might be different, will be different, etc. So I can't definitely make a recommendation of what you will need. 16 gigabytes plus is what you do want to start looking out for on the video editing side. 8 gigabytes can get you there in my experience, but it's gonna take longer to fill up that temporary memory. So I went ahead and with 32 gigabytes. I have DDR4. If you can't see the label, I have DDR4, 32 megahertz, 3200 megahertz. From my understanding, if you do put in a higher speed RAM, than what your processor is, it will still be okay. Your processor will just clock down to what it can handle. Now, I'm not making any recommendation of a chip manufacturer, but what I purchased was from Zeus. So we're going to go ahead and change that out. Now, what I have already done, because I kind of started this and then decided to go and shoot a little video of me doing it, so I did go ahead and remove these screws here. Now again, this is a Lenovo IdeaPad, so your laptop might not have the same pattern as mine. Could have some screws on the side. You'll need to look into that, but mine had one screw here, 1, 2, 3 on the top, 1, 2, 3 in the middle, and 1, 2, 3, 4 on the bottom. And actually you do have 2 different sizes of screws, such as in length. There are some shorter and some longer. What you can do to make it easier on yourself, if you can't just, or if you don't want to remember which one will go where, is just put them on your table and kind of the same pattern that you took them out. So go ahead and put the screws on the top that came out of the top, up on the top, middle row, bottom row, bottom row. And that'll make it easier. Or you can just throw them in the bin and figure it out. I just threw them in the bin here too. And the next part we'll need to do, and being that this is my own laptop for my own money, I'll purchase a while back. I don't care too much if I get some scratches. I'm not recommending that you use metal. If you do get scratches, it's going to be on you, not on me. No liabilities from this video. But you will need to get something small enough to be able to pry in here. And I do apologize for any type of coughing. I am getting over a cold, start of winter times around here in South Carolina. But anyhow, so we'll need to find a spot that we can get into. Spot of least resistance. So let's see where that might be. But you'll need to find probably a corner you can grab into. I actually do see one, so it's going to make it kind of good. So pop up in there. and keep on. You don't even necessarily need to keep on. You can just use your hands to keep on going. Pry that back cover off. Expose the guts and the internals of the laptop. And just a quick minor little rundown. We got a battery, we got a fan, Wi-Fi card, SSD card. And the way I'm going to recommend that you can recognize the RAM stick is I showed you earlier the new stick I got. It's generally going to be the longest chip that you do have on your laptop. If you can change it out, if it's not soldered on or even under the motherboard. So another thing that you can do to recognize your RAM stick is it's going to generally have these little clips on the side. If you can see these middle things, since it can be removed, it's going to have these that you need to slide out very easily. You just go ahead and take your fingernails and that will go ahead and pop up the RAM chip 45 degrees, and then you'll actually just go ahead and be able to slide it out from this little hole. And if you notice on my current stick, the back is smooth, and if I do turn it around, well, I'm going to call this the back because I generally call something that has the label on it the front. But of course, when it's to here, it looks like the front to us, so whichever way you want to call it. But the other side has the label on it telling you what it is as well. It's like mine does. But if you do notice on the RAM chip, they have these semiconductors at the bottom, and it also has a notch. You will need to make sure that the new stick does line up with this notch. Now, I would recommend, I have clean hands. I've cleaned my hands right before this process. Still, I'm not going to grab the gold conductors because that's nonsense. But if you want, you can wear gloves just to make sure that you are a little extra clean. Now, if you do notice on my new stick, no side is just bare. The side has the Zeus logo. This side has the label. Now, if I have the label up on this side, if you do notice, the notches aren't going to align. So I can't face the label down on my new RAM chip like the old one. So what I'm going to need to do is flip it around. So the notches do line up. So with that, if I had it like there, my label would have been up on my old one. The label will be down just like it was previously, and the Zeus logo will be up. And all I'll need to do is go ahead and take my new stick and slide it into its home. And this will need to be, it is SODIMM. SODIMM, or just SODIMM. That's a smaller type of RAM, because the RAM that's meant for desktop is not going to fit into a laptop slot. Alright, so what I'll need to do is just go ahead and slide into place here. Why is it being so fuzzy? Oh, because, so I was being not right earlier. So the label needs to be up because the label was down earlier. So the notches fit, the notches line up when I have my label up on the new chip, down on the old chip. You just need to put your chips together, line up that notch, make sure they're going to go up there. And then they will just slide into place, into its home. You'll be able to push down on that 45 degrees. No need to blunt it down or anything. Just push down and this clips will pop back up. Hopefully y'all might be able to hear that. If not, just trust me. And you're done with that. There's not going to be any need to go into your BIOS or anything like the old days. Your computer, once you turn it back on, is just going to recognize it. So go ahead and just pop your back panel into place. Now, one recommendation that I can make is don't worry about going and screwing things back into place now. Just go ahead and turn the computer on. And go into your control panel and make sure your new RAM is recognized. Make sure it does work, because if you have to take the cover back off, it's going to make it easier to have the screws already out of place, just like when this video started. But yeah, so it looked like it was fairly straightforward. So hopefully it was that simple for some of you.